Good morning, Anda. Thank you for being the first one in. The first one to say good morning. That's fantastic. Let me take a big old swig of this coffee while you guys trickle in this morning. What's up, Mitsunami? How's it going? Good morning. I think that's a cute dog in your picture. All right, cool. Lizard, what up? Cheese Chaser. You sound like my wife. He likes... Don't tell her I said that. Oh, Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I think something that can help us have an even more wonderful day from the UK. Where you at? You a Scouser? I gotta know. Hopefully, maybe you know one of my soccer teammates. You know, Daniel. But I think a big thing we're going to pay attention to, there is one signal that I do want to show you guys for potential weakness that can come as we approach a weekly expected move. So there's just one thing I wanted to show off as we get some people to trickle in. So very important for us to get a bunch of people before I show this off so I don't have to show it a million times. So if you guys could like the video, that would be awesome. Sheffield Steel City. I almost played for Blackburn. Blackburn Academy was where I almost played for, actually. Pretty cool. Good morning, Dylan, John, how we doing? Little AR-15s in here. JOLTs dropped already? Not yet, not yet. No, we still have about 40 minutes until that drop. 40 minutes. You played for Shoals? Nice. Yeah, I would have had to go over there from the US. My brother got to play in a tournament over there, and then my coach was from Fulham, like he was with the academy, so he tried to get me to come over, but didn't work out. Or not Fulham, sorry, Blackburn. Blackburn does have I mean, there's some feeders. There's some good feeders, I mean, honestly. Is there a reason that Nvidia is already moving up? Probably because everyone was super bearish on it because of a head and shoulders. That's probably the main reason, right? If you were looking at one stock that everyone was excited to short, it would be Nvidia. Everyone was paying attention to the head and shoulders, so it makes sense for Nvidia to see a snapback if they get some positive news and people are starting to cover those positions, right? So we weren't surprised by this. Now, if you're part of the Patreon, you should be paying attention to these areas, and that's why I'm going to show off a signal that I want to really show everyone. So if we can at least get to 100 people in here, I'd be pretty happy with that. That way enough people can see it early on, and then we can just pay attention later if it's going to confirm, because it's going to take some time to confirm. Only dinguses short the king. It's very hard to short Nvidia. I think I've only had one successful short play on Nvidia. And I think it was this, maybe it was this little drop here. I think it was right in here. And I took profit very quickly. I saw this big drop and I go, okay, I'm taking profit. I'm like, I'm not messing with Nvidia. Because the past few times I've tried to short it, I just remember up in here, I think I tried to short it and then I was expecting more than this. And I started to learn, hey, don't expect more, just take the profit when it's there. And then I didn't do it again. So much easier just to look for the bullish setup, right? We've found very bullish setups for Nvidia ever since, like, I'm just thinking back to August and I'm like, man, we are seeing some great signals there. Now you have potential to see something crazy or some kind of reversal for Nvidia. So as we're trickling in, make sure to hit that like button so we can get some people in here, because we're going to talk about a reversal signal that we used yesterday. This is what we posted to Patreon for a potential for some kind of selling, some kind of pullback to come in the market. Just remember, even with this signal, the probabilities are that we are going to see those dips bought. So if we're going to see volatility come back in stronger, you might want to see a cross up really close to the center line, right? This would be a signal for us to actually head up for volatility on the 2-hour chart, in my opinion. Now, I want you to very seriously look at the RSI and just notice that if you really look at this thing and you hold that low point, you're pretty even, but you're actually a little bit lower, right? So we're a little bit lower there. So I don't like that signal as of right now. It's like a grade 2, right? But grade 3 is what's going to have to stop this, right? The best reversal signal is going to be if this 30-minute drops down and curls back up. And that would actually allow the 2-hour to curl up. And that's where I think we retest the breakout area. Okay, so now that we know the 30-minute signal that we're looking out for that could turn up this 2-hour, what's going to cause some kind of pullback? Once again, none of that has to happen. We're just seeing if it lines up. We're seeing if it confirms. But something that could happen is the SPY actually goes to that weekly expected move. We tap serious resistance, and then we get a mean pullback, right? A mean pullback here would actually make sense because you shake some people out. All right, they really think something like this is happening again, right? Just like this moment. Everyone thinks that this is happening again here. Then if we end up going higher and it happens again, they're gonna think the same thing. I think you're at a time where some rip around can start to happen, and then once it breaks, we actually will see some potential for that squeeze, more of a squeeze to come, but you've already kind of started it, so just notice that these dips most likely will be bought. Something that we will be looking at today is a 15-minute is mostly what we'll follow when we are looking at the SPY, and then we'll be looking out for any kind of little divergences up in these areas. Okay, that would mean a 2-hour trend move back down can happen. We could see 2-hour, 2-hour, 2-hour go up. We could see this cross down. We're going to pay attention if the 2-hour actually crosses down, though. Because we could just take off and keep going, guys. We like Nvidia. Nvidia's kind of signaling, hey, people were really short in these areas. Nvidia's really signaling people were short here, people were short here, and boom. So we got to be paying attention to the actual trend here. The trend is to the upside as of right now, right? We are still positive with no reversal signals. No reversal signals. Now, the other scenario for this type of signal is you see some kind of massive move like this, and you just pull back to retest that area, or you pull back into the zone to then curl back up by the end of the week. And that's something that I'll look for because this is our 68% zone. We kind of like to make scenarios that end us in that zone. You'll see Friday at the end of the day, that would end you right in this area. So we'll be paying attention to it. You have a daily expected move, weekly expected move. Everything should look good. I like the Qs a lot better here just because of the levels of the daily expected move take you outside of the weekly. So if we're going to see any good news from JOLTs, well, we want to see if that skies you, right? But because if it skies you, you get rid of the divergence, well, then you're very likely to just retest the top and keep going. Isn't that crazy? But if this is going to hold, if that volatility signal is going to hold, you might see this dip down in some way. We might see it break out and dip down in some way by the end of the week. So that's what I'll be paying attention to for both of those indices there. If volatility goes up, does this indicate the stocks will move lower or the SPY? Not necessarily a first initial indication, right? So you guys know this. If you're looking at volatility and volatility goes up, it initially does not mean selling has to come in. That is why we look for signals from the SPY and the Qs at the same time. It does mean there's potential for selling to come in because things are going to get more volatile. But volatility can go up and you can see a sporadic move up from the market as well. Volatility being up means more volatility in both directions. It doesn't necessarily mean selling initially. So what we do is we look for volatility, we look for a signal, and then we look if the SPY is going to match that signal. If the SPY matches the signal and both start to confirm down, that is when selling is the most likely scenario. I still have trades in place. I'm not technically waiting for the data. I will be ready to react for the data. Right? I still have my trades in place. I'm chilling. IWM and Dow from the SPY and the Qs. I don't think it would be rotation from the SPY and the Qs necessarily. I do think you're at a time where breadth can start to come in. You do still have cash on the sidelines, but I do think IWM has a good chance of a move here, but it's just, if you're talking about rotation from SPY into IWM or Qs into IWM, you think like this is going to happen then, because that would be a lot of money inflowing to IWM. I'm just saying money that's still on the sideline might catch this bid here, and then we're going to run into this area. Where do I think we're going to head at the end of the day? I think we're going to head towards 237, towards 235. That's where I think we're going to head. But for this week, we know the first leg is going to be right here where that serious breakdown happens. So it's very likely to consolidate here. Very good to pay attention to IWM, right? Because this will be a serious resistance, right? This is the main breakdown from that flush. This broke you down straight through all of this. So this little zone in here is going to be pretty important. And can you get there? That's when some retesting of breakout areas can come to the downside, right? We fail at a breakdown, we go retest the breakout, and then we head to the upside again. And all of that would keep you in your weekly expected moves. So that would be fantastic. So do I think it'll be rotation from SPY and the Qs? No, I think if it's going to squeeze, I think everything squeezes together. We just have to understand where IWM, DIA, and these things are at, right? When we look at 2-hour daily charts, right? IWM on the daily chart, very low on the MACD. DIA, very low on the MACD. We're still looking for lower highs from those guys. But when it comes to the SPY and the Qs, right here, it's right by the center line. So that's a little bit different. That says, hey, we can go to a new all-time high. This one here is still in positive territory. So that's saying, hey, we can go to a new all-time high, right? So now we understand the difference in the indices with where we should expect some positivity. And if you just were part of the Patreon, you have monthly expected moves, you're going to understand that a lot better because you're going to have actual lines on the chart. Thank you for the Patreon update yesterday. It helps getting those messages to make decisions. Yeah, I'm not able to do it all the time, but that was the one signal that I saw, and I felt a lot of people didn't react to it at all when I was on the live show, so I just wanted to kind of put it out there again. Just put it out there again, going, hey, just so you know, this is the only sell signal I see. This can cause some potential to fill gaps and things like that, but overall, we're above a 5, and it's rising up now. Overall, you're maybe going to go fill a gap, right? Overall, you are pretty bullish here still with this look, unless you start to confirm down bigger time frames at this point, and that's just a very unlikely thing to do in one day. So you want to see another price action. Did it convince me to sell? It convinced me to sell another position, but other than that, I'm still holding on to most of my runners, right? I sold a little bit more, but then I just go, okay, I'm still going to hold on to my Amazon that has longer out options. I'm still going to hold on to a little bit of IWM because that has longer out options. But yeah, I thought that was important because, like I said, this is where I really shine as a trader. Like, this is where I really understand things very well. I understand how to react. And so that's why I put the post on Patreon. I feel like as people are still learning about this stuff, we had a few new Patreon members. So I wanted to make sure they know, like, hey, this is outside of a daily expected move. It is likely we come inside of it. And notice that the SPY closed just inside of it. The Qs closed like just barely above it, I believe. So Qs were more trying to use the top side move as support. The SPY was kind of losing it. So, but all we have to do is think critically here. We see no weakness on the 15-minute chart. We see no weakness on a 30-minute. We see no weakness on a 2-hour. So what's the most likely thing to happen? Well, the trend can continue. If that starts to change, we will change. But thank you for saying that, Onda. Very, very thankful. One more week of fake numbers. Well, facts, Terry. Yeah, we don't really enjoy the fact of data revisions. I am someone who always says, if you're going to revise something, you might as well not put it out there and wait till the revision. Palantir is a great question, Kevin. Palantir is a great question. I was looking at this one. I actually kind of like this one. I know that's crazy to say, but I think this is going to be a higher low. Yeah, I think this is going to be a higher low. And what's telling me that is you have some serious weak. Well, you did. I have to see how this shaped up. Yeah, see, now this could not be done. This could not be done, but if this 5-minute goes positive, where is it? It's right by the center line, and I want to see this drop here to see what it looks like on the RSI. You'll notice we are holding that point. So if you're able to hold up, maybe see a few bars in here, right? A few tests, and then you turn that thing back up and you take back this 5, that means this 30-minute is very close to crossing up, right? If we can see the 5-minute take back that 5, the 30-minute's going to look like, hey, I'm about to cross up into positive territory, which means all of this could be, yeah, this could still be bad in some way, but more so if this is going to curl up and it goes positive from this point, we can watch out for lower high, right? But since you did not make a new low here, it is likely you're holding up, higher low, you beat that high, then you see that series, right, as you go up. So I actually don't mind the look. You could even draw this handle this way at this point. So you're kind of in a go up or go down type of a pattern here. And I think you're just waiting to see. And good thing you're mentioning it because, hey, those weekly moves, right? BlackBerry be popping. How's Sofi? Sofi, I wasn't the biggest fan at that time, right? We weren't the biggest fan of this. No reversal signals, but nice V shape. Pretty good there, right? Pretty good V, right? And then we see it trying to consolidate, which is always a good sign. Still want to be aware if that 30-minute does cross that it's probably going for the higher low, actually. Higher low makes sense on the 30-minute here because of the positioning of the MACD, a little bit higher up. We never see very high readings for, I would say we never see high readings for SoFi, so I'm not going to read into my 0.5, right? That's mainly on bigger stocks. But this here just says, hey, we can pull back. If the 2 hour is crossing, though, look at that 2 hour. It's trying to cross up. That could be a good thing, right? This could be a good thing. We want to see if it can build back. And the reason we want to see if it can build back is because you are consolidating right at the breakdown, right? You see the breakdown. What are you doing? You're consolidating, trying to break through it. So if you can really get through that and then probably back off and retest it, that would be the best case scenario, I think, for SoFi going forward. Ultimately, guys, the daily turning up is going to be a great thing for SoFi, right? You're looking for that daily to cross up. And notice every single head and shoulders is starting to get bought up. So if this daily crosses, SoFi can go up for days. Nvidia going to gap fill as of right now. Yeah, it's filling the gap. And the thing about Nvidia here is, and why we should be paying attention to that weakness in momentum from volatility, right? For that volatility to scale up. The reason we should be paying attention to that is because Nvidia is doing something crazy right now. Okay, Nvidia has a 68% chance to close below where it gapped to. First inclination of that right now is saying, uh-oh, there's problems up there. The options market is pricing that in. Now, do you have reversal signals here? No. So even if we drop a little bit further and then we turn up, that's more the signal we're looking for, is something like that. And if that doesn't pop up, you could just squeeze even more for Nvidia because it's seeing something crazy. I know it's early on in the week, so I'll be paying attention to reversal signals, but Nvidia is saying, hey, there might be some validity to, or credibility towards, like, hey, another move up, and then VIX might confirm that signal. As you can see, VIX already going positive. Look at that, trying to curl back up. That's not a good sign. So this could mean, hey, we're gonna go retest that 5, right? If we're gonna drop down, right here. But just notice, I'm not gonna be scared of some jobs data. I think for the most part, people are big money starting to position for upside, not downside. But we will pay attention to data, right? JOLTs job openings, we'll see if that increases dramatically. ISM services PMI, we'll see if that increases dramatically, right? Above 50 is decent, right? You kind of want to see above 50 for a growing economy overall. But for the PMI, if you start to see really high ones, we can see people getting a little bit scared of inflation and things like that. So really, we're looking for the reaction from yields. If you're a trader, you really want these yields to start backing off, right? We're seeing some wicks come in. You really want these to start backing off. Notice this from the dollar as well, starting to cross on the MACD here. It's a good sign, but we're finding, look at these wicks we keep getting for the dollar. So we've already triggered something really bad right over here on the monthly scale. Really, it's just all this block in here triggered it. But these wicks down here can be an okay thing for the dollar to actually, look at this, double bottom, see some kind of bounce, and then we'll see what happens. So is this signal something to worry about right now? I'd say it's definitely keep it on your radar type behavior here, right? Keep it on your radar, see what happens with data in 20 minutes, but if this thing can curl up after the data, that would be a reason for the 2 hour to start to move in the upward direction. And the most likely thing for the 2 hour is still, I would say, a lower high, right? All this come down, we retest in this area, and then we drop back down again. So we'll be paying attention. I did delete my little zone just to clear up the chart a little bit, but we know the important levels down here. It's right in here, but this is the most important. So we're gonna think very logically after we get some data if I need to sell some positions, and I think that's perfectly fine. Nvidia double top. I don't know if that's a double top yet because we don't have confirmations of a double top. We don't have signals for a top. Nvidia, it's very difficult to say that this would be a double top. I want you to look at the 2 hour. Does the 2 hour look like it has reversal, or does it look like it wiped out all of the divergence that was created in here? It wiped all of it out, and it even wiped out the lower high It's wiping out the most recent, you would say, potential for lower high, and now you're making a series of higher lows. So if you are going to pull back here, it will just be that most likely, right? The 2 hour is really high up. You could see a dramatic pullback, maybe to fill a gap to retest the 5, and then we curl up by the end of the week. So Amazon's starting to flip to the negative side. Now, stocks like this, a little bit different. We want to be paying attention if that 2 hour does roll down. We still want to be paying attention if the 2 hour does roll down. That will be a big deal. Saw some orders for AMD. Meta was another one. Meta starting to show, hey, that 30-minute might need to pull back. So Meta could pull back with the data regardless if it's good or bad, as Meta hits some pretty crazy levels, to be totally honest. Yeah, so Meta actually reaching up and touching some crazy levels up here. This would encourage a 30-minute pullback. So that would mean this might have more work to be done at this point. Kind of makes me want to make a decision. I think we just got to leave it on 15s. I really would assume this 15-minute trend move still wants to happen before we see volatility cross up. But we'll find out. Everything we'll find out with a little bit more price action, right? Apple about to turn green. Fantastic for Apple. That's great. Getting a dip down, starting to push back up. So that's good. Overall from Apple, you guys know we were leaning towards, you know, some kind of basing out in here. But we weren't sure if that needed to go to lower levels or create a higher low, right? I still think patience was the right thing to say for this one as of right now. The way that you would say, hey, this is going to make another trend move, possibly to take you back above the 15-minute, right? 15 minutes starts to go up. Maybe Nvidia just sees something crazy. Maybe we just get rid of those volatility signals. So that's why we wait for confirmation. We're not trying to guess that volatility is going to confirm this signal. We're not trying to guess. We're waiting for it to confirm, and then it is likely for us to see if we are making the same type of signals on the SPY, meaning the SPY has to get up to this weekly. Then we will be paying attention to if that signal is going to cause some selling. And if it just confirms, we can just pay attention to it as a risk standpoint. Uber doing okay. MU looking great. Yeah, let's go look at MU. We looked at that yesterday, so let's go look at that. Ooh, great move. Okay, awesome. So this is a zone to be worried about, right? Breakdowns, we came into it, we gapped below it. Very important zone, but it seems we're holding up very well. Now, if I had a weekly expected move for this, you might be looking if that can, you know, curl up and curl back down. That might be something to pay attention to. But even if it does curl down, guys, the 2 hours just getting going. So if 2 hour momentum wants to, it can keep you going. And it's actually higher up readings on the MACD than this high here. So if we break out of this zone, what's the most likely thing to happen? Break out, maybe retest, then head to the next one. That's what we'll be looking for. And you could retest for a deeper one here. Right, look where that 5 is coming up. It's almost getting towards the bottom of your zone. So if that 30-minute can drop for a moment here, right, as you're making some potential weakness and momentum, just very tight on the MACD, we can see that pull down and then curl up. And I think that's the overall better way to play this. It's more just looking for an opportunity, right? I don't want to YOLO into something that's really, really high up. I need to just put up another chart, honestly. Let me do this so I can look at multiple things here. Let's go SPY, 15-minute. Put that one here. Then I'm gonna go VIX as well. Those are the two things I really want to. Actually, more likely Qs. Qs will more likely be important. See how it's giving it up. All right, getting a wick coming in. So some buying. Remember those dips. Wow, I said I wanted on volatility, and the chart just loaded volatility when I clicked on a tab. That's awesome. All right, so we'll keep volatility over here as well. And then here, maybe we'll look at some other stuff, right? So we can always bounce back to the Qs. We can always bounce back to volatility and check on those. Now, I know that volatility tracks the SPY, but we're going to look for the Qs just because they're going to head up there, and then we'll click over to the SPY real quick and see if it's getting up to those levels. 15 minutes until a big-ass data drop. Do you send out trade alerts? I'm not someone who's trying to encourage people to buy, sell, do anything like that. I'm just talking about momentum. Sometimes I talk about good trade setups. Sometimes I post those trade setups to Patreon, right? We post important things. That's the big thing. I don't really want to call them setups too often. I more so would say we post important things to Patreon. Yesterday we posted that we could see, I don't know why I sounded Canadian there. Yesterday we posted that we could see some selling come in with the volatility signal. That ended up being right? We're posting important things. I'm not here to try to hold anyone's hand. I'm here to help you learn. I will hold your hand and try to help you learn as long as you have a good attitude. I am not someone who's going to be like, hey, join this so you can get all my trade signals and pay $600 a month to be a part of my Discord. That's not what this is about. I just want to help out retail traders. And that's why the courses are on a discount in January right now, right? That's why all of these things are very cheap, because I'm not trying to rip away hundreds of dollars from you so you can follow me and stuff. I'm trying to teach you how to do this so you maybe don't even need me anymore. That's the difference. Yeah. Awesome, VBAC. So you will see some things that I see as great potential setups. We more do talk about that, by the way, VBAC. We do talk about that in the weekly update video, which the weekly update video might come out today as we approach weekly expected moves. And then we put all those weekly expected moves on every single stock that we give you, and we go through the ones that look interesting or are showing some kind of signal. Most likely, if we hit weekly expected moves here, I will be going through all of them today. Where do I think BlackBerry could go? Yeah, let's go check over on BlackBerry. Notice that the Qs, by the way, flashing back to positive. They were negative for a second there, so very interesting. IWM seeing some more positivity there. That's good to see. As of right now, for BlackBerry, like I said, look at these tiny, tiny little blips. That's the only real opportunity you're getting, and it's not even great opportunities. So I would still be sitting here looking for another 30-minute opportunity, right? Even though this was on a gap up, look, it's continuing. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult because it seems it is squeezing. This is squeezing. So on the daily scale, you got to be like, okay, well, how high could this go? You never really know. But maybe you would say that this point's very important to consolidate. I would have said that these points in here, this point in here would have been very important to consolidate. Right? This would have been great for prolonged positivity in the stock. Instead, we break through it, we retest it, and then we head higher again. So what I'd be looking for, any opportunities that are coming on the 30-minute, I'd be looking for opportunities coming on the 2-hour. And I would also notice this right now. You might have to be patient for that opportunity. Look at BlackBerry on the 2-hour. You're starting to form these type of things. Now, you're not seeing 30-minute weakness yet, so this can continue for a bit, but just be aware if you start to see 30-minute weakness or if the 2-hour crosses down. That is where you could see a daily pullback, right? Where would the daily pullback like to test? Well, first line right here, right? That's the important level, I think, right? Somewhere in there. But if this is going to go down even deeper, look at the 20 coming up. That's why we're pointing out that. If this is going to go down deeper, where did we last break out from? Well, this little block in here. So there's probably a little zone in here that's pretty important. You see a lot of accumulation and stuff like that in this zone. So Chipotle not looking so tasty anymore. I don't know why. Chipotle, it's like lukewarm meat sometimes does not hit. I will say that. I used to be a huge Chipotle person. My parents, like my mom still thinks I love Chipotle. Every single year she gives me a $25 gift card to Chipotle for Christmas. And I'm like, I barely go to Chipotle. Like I barely go. When it first came out, it was amazing. But what is Chipotle? Is that CMG? Yeah, CMG. So you're still looking for that daily to catch some kind of ground here. Does the 2-hour show you that? No, you're dropping off a cliff for this one. So this one, really this is like, if this one doesn't go right, then this is a problem, right? If this doesn't hold as a base and you move sideways and you break that base, that's a problem because you're not seeing the best tapering, right? We're heading straight down. You get the first form of tapering and then you don't get a bounce. That's a problem. So now this could keep going for however low it wants to go. on the daily scale, you'll notice the 200s there, so you're not even getting a reaction from that. This is where you have to really be patient and probably just sit there for a while and wait for this thing to make a base, right? So this one would be patience is key, right? And then if you see like a V shape and then you see a daily confirm up here and we cross up into positive territory, well, it's still very likely, unless that thing goes more negative than right now, right? If this thing keeps heading down, then you'd want to look for the lower high. I would still say as it's negative, I would watch out for that. But if it could cross in the next couple of days, or say this week or next week, very, without dropping too much, right, starts to make that base, that would be a better signal to potentially go test this high. But right now, you got to be watching out for, hey, is this going to just retest here and fail? Is it going to see a big move and retest here and fail? Yeah. Loaded on the VIX. Yeah, no confirmation from the VIX just yet. Actually, unconfirming. I don't know why I just clicked over to this. This is why I have this. As you can see, has not confirmed yet, but this is something serious to pay attention to. Look how close to the center line it is, right? Look how close to the center line this moment was. Remember this? And then bam. So we're paying attention to it. Remember this one, right? We saw the rejection that got you a little bit closer to the center line. So when you're close to the center line with a signal, you really got to watch out. And I would say this one's worse than this one. So very interesting here. We'll see if it's able to confirm. But I'm not going to get overly bearish in a super bullish look. Seems like Chipotle's been doing bad since the stock split. It could be more than that. I mean, the thing about Chipotle is, think of how many times you've read in the news about Chipotle having some kind of salmonella, some kind of this, some kind of that. And then you add into that context and say, look at what's happening to the bird flu thing going on. Look what's probably happening to cattle right now. I think it's like most of the let me go look at that actually. I think it's a huge percentage of cattle has like a disease right now. I'd have to go find it, but that can be a big problem for something like Chipotle. Tesla's resistance lines today, I don't necessarily have resistance lines today. I'm more just following the signals and saying, hey, the 30-minute looks like it's in a pretty positive trend. The 15-minute is trying to confirm the next upward move. The 2-hour dropping down would be the signal of more base. Now, I'm worried about Tesla just because it might need to build that base over time, which means I'm looking for more sideways unless it can really produce here and curl up a daily chart soon. But it's just not looking the best right now. Remember, and we pointed this out last week, Tesla, Apple, and Microsoft. Microsoft has been the surprising one, but Microsoft actually had some kind of reversal signal. Tesla and Apple did not. So they probably are the P for patience ones, right? Apple and Tesla, they're the P for patience. Happy New Year, Braun. How are your travels? Were they good? Only place Chipotle be ripping is my stomach. That's pretty funny, actually. But the good part is, if you were paying attention to what we were talking to for Tesla, we were looking for that test of this area, right? Of the bottom of our triangle, right? Was this a continuation triangle or is it going to break down? Well, it's going to break down. Okay, where are you going to retest? Wherever it broke down from, you retest it, you fall down, but you're holding up. So that is overall saying we want to attempt to take back this level, which means we can start to head in the upward direction, right? If you're really looking at Tesla, you're going, okay, well, this is the breakdown. We react up to that level. We get a little handle on it, and then maybe we can see some upside, and maybe that's when the daily starts to cross. ASMR. How you in the fam? The family's fantastic. Setting up baby girl's first birthday. That's right. We've had her for 1 year almost, right? We're going on to it in about a month. So we're excited. It's really cold out. We had a blizzard over the weekend pretty much, so going to be very, very chilly out there. Let me put this back on volatility so we're aware of it. SPY, we're going to watch these on the 15-minute for now. I did see this Fubo, and I heard Fubo went up by like, what was it, 100, 200, 200%? Yeah, that's just... that's some news happening there. That is some news, right? So let's see if this thing gave you a bottom with that news. Let's see if some big players ended up making a bottom down here first. And that's where we want to actually look at the 2 hour. So you're going to notice what at the low. Again, everyone thinks that momentum never sees these things, but if you were paying attention to Fubo and then you see this, oh, look at that. It magically pops up even though you can't read into it and technicals are worthless to a lot of people. Well, then why did the technicals call this one? The big order came in at the low. And then people hear the news, right? So what we're looking at too is to see if that's on the RSI. Pull it down here, look at that. Divergence on the RSI as well in the upward direction. So positive divergence on both. That leads to a daily crossing up into positive territory. So this is something that I don't chase these moves. I don't chase them at all. I wait for the opportunity, right? So if the 30-minute needs to, it might want to go sideways or go down until that 5 is tested, and then maybe it gives you the next 30-minute opportunity, right? 30-minute opportunity to go back up. And a lot of these moves these days, I think we've noticed that the 30-minute opportunity has failed, so just be aware of that. Was it Disney? 5 minutes for the data drop. Matthew's got some levels for Tesla if you would like to pay attention to those. We did not look at the put or call walls for you, so Matthew doing that a little bit for you there, and it seems he's got some call resistance and put resistance for you. So overall, I would say the move as far as, you know, Hulu, whoever buying Fubo, well, it turns out to be good for Fubo. Disney's merging with Hulu and Fubo. Wow. Damn, Disney's not hurting from that Snow White, huh? Is AMD showing reversal? And remember we said briefly over the weekend, maybe we shouldn't be sleeping on AMD. I mean, AMD actually showing some great reversal signals in here. It's just, I can't trust the stock. I've had to manage too many trades with AMD lately, and it's probably the one time it's really going to work out is when I'm not trying to do something with it. Pretty good signals here, though. So if you really look at this point right here, 30-minute divergence leads to a turn up. Why is that a good thing there? Well, the 2 hour was looking for the higher low after making some kind of base. Notice the difference between, say, Chipotle that dropped dramatically and had a little bit of tapering, and then see how AMD actually had the same signals as Chipotle, right? Same signals as Chipotle, but it actually produced a test of an upward level, and then it backed off for the 2 hour dip and then turns right back up. So the 2 hour turns up where? Closer to the center line, right? If you're still confused about this, take the full technical analysis course. It will clear things up very, very well. You will understand why divergence, why the MACD is very important, and why the center line is very, very important. Right? I'm just mentioning the course a lot in this month. You won't hear me mention it a ton after this month because it won't be on sale. So you got to get it while it's on sale. So very, very cool. Nvidia as of right now getting crushed, and that's why we like our weekly expected moves, right? We love weekly expected moves. It tells you how high up this can go. Now this can still go high up. It's not any reversal signal here for the 30-minute, but we made a little move up to here. And that allows you enough to say, uh-oh, now we potentially are making some of those reversals. Look at the 15-minute. The 15-minute could still curl up, right? So I'm just not worried about this too much. We get data in 2 minutes, and this backing off is perfectly fine with me. Look for those opportunities. If the data is bad, you're still, the opportunity is like not there right now, right? Nvidia saying down, down, down right now on the 30-minute. So should I be taking a long position right now? No. Should I be taking a short position right now? Well, you're in a positive trend, so you got to do what you want. If you're good at managing risk, I think you're fine, right? I think you guys are smarter than a lot of people out there, right? You guys are able to put together what I'm saying, so don't, you know, degrade yourself and think like that you have to be like so smart to do this stuff. Like you guys are well smart enough to know like, hey, this is turning down. I can wait for that test of the 5, see if that turns back up into positive territory. And then it's more if I see a reversal signal up here is where I'll be more worried. But also notice we are in potential for short squeeze time. That's why I'm going to talk about confirmation is very important, because this could start the squeeze and then that just keeps going. So we'll pay attention, but no reversal signals for Nvidia, so I'm just not too scared of anything. Meta was another one that once again was a risky one. If you have weekly expected moves, you know these things about Meta and Nvidia. You understand how these things react around these areas, but you also understand something else. Look at the 30-minute, right? Look at that MACD. If this goes all the way back down to the 5, people are going to say, oh, that's a big drop. And you're just going to go, hey, yeah, we're still positive, though. So if this goes like that, we're in a positive trend. All right, awesome. We're going back to the upside, right? We're just being very plain and simple with it. We got to pay attention to data, which actually is just now dropping. So I will go pop over to that. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't use pre-market all the time, right? Pre-market and stuff like that, extended hours, I'll look at that for extreme bases, but I'm not going to use it all the time. No, I want to see the good volume. All right, let's go see what the data has in store for us. Looks like as of right now, PMI coming in at 54.1. Very interesting. JOLTs job openings coming in at 8.098 million. So I would say over 50 is supposedly good, but that might be inflationary because that's a big number. And then JOLTs job openings, the openings opening up to 8.098 million. So now we'll wait for the reaction in the market, but this is suggesting that volatility might confirm this signal. There you go. Which means these things might start to turn down. We're getting those rejections. So now we'll look for the 5 and gap fill. So I'm going to move some positions around real quick. Let's move. Wait, let me see real. Okay, so we might go for gap fill. Let's look at the reaction from yields. Yeah, yields heading up from that. So it's kind of exactly what we didn't want to see. Oh, it's not gonna let me, huh? Okay. Chill on it for a bit. And alrighty, so now we have to less paying attention to the 15-minute, more paying attention to the 30-minute now. So now we can kind of flip these over. We can go, okay, 30-minute. All right, 30-minute crossing here. So likely to see some form of volatility come in. That's where you're seeing this start to drop. So coinciding with data, very, very good. And we'll look for, is this going to drop down to test lower levels? As of right now, you would say, hey, now we're pointing towards 590.65, which 590, I believe, actually, I'm gonna look at that real quick. The last time I looked, I believe 590 was the put wall. Let me go look at that real quick. I know, I'm not looking at chat right now, but just give me a moment here. 590 for the put wall for the day. And 590 the first put wall, but really 585. Five-minute divergence all around these lows. I wonder if we'll shrug this off. I'm going to look at a 5-minute for a little bit here. See if we can shrug this thing off. And then I'm going to look at a couple of other stocks. I'll look on my other charts real quick. I just want to look for potential for opportunity. Amazon going for the bigger dip down. So we're getting rid of that play, breaking even on it as of that move. Then I want to look at Apple and Tesla. If Tesla can keep dipping down, that might be a good little play there. We'll see. JOLT dropping. IWM with the wick coming in. Meta dropping. Yeah, so these things are going to drop further. So at least this is where they will see some potential for bounces, right? The middle of our area after we gap fill. So I'm going to watch a 5-minute, just see if we cut this in any way, and then we're able to turn back up and shake off that data. But that is data that should increase the yields. So we got higher numbers in both. So if you're really wanting the data to be better for you for bullishness, you probably only wanted to see a reading of like 52, right? 52, 51. Something like decent, but not too good, right? People are going to get more and more sensitive to this as we go into a Trump presidency, especially when he could be changing things up a lot, right? People don't like unexpected. People don't like things that they won't understand right off the bat. So, solid. Lucas, is there any ETF of Meta to buy cheaper Meta like TSLL? I don't necessarily know for Meta. Maybe someone else in the chat would know a good ETF for Meta. Bitcoin below 92, so that's a big problem then if you think it's going to go below 92. So what we can watch is just does the daily cross, right? Is the 2 hour negative right now? Well, you would say you have potential for reversal, but look at this. You don't have anything here on the MACD. You don't have anything on the RSI. So the more likely thing is we're going to end up seeing things bounce back up, and that's just the truth of it at this point. Until we start to see bigger time frames fall, until we start to see at least a 4 hour, I would say, fall. And look, this thing might even be pretty damn positive. So even if this throws up all the way back down to 91.8K, it still can move in the upward direction. Right now, you're just testing the breakout area. So SPY, what should we look for? Maybe it's going to test the breakout area. Where is that? Down here towards our daily expected move, down towards 590. We just want to see which ones of these are really trying to test those levels. IWM was dropping down. See, IWM going down towards it right away. Very good. DIA filling the gap. DIA already tested its breakdown right here. Saw the bounce up. Now we're getting that data. So data really making things vomit. Buying pressure coming in though. Nothing for Meta. Nothing for Microsoft, probably further downside. Google is one I'd be worried about as well. Big upward move. Might need to reload, retest something like 197.71. Yeah, see Sofi rolling over. Now we can look for the higher low from Sofi. It's built a lot in this area. How high could this next daily move go, really? I mean, the next daily move for Sofi could be decent. I might watch this one. One SPY move after another, just rejected. Yeah. Keeps getting rejected in this area up here. And this time it was actually data driven. We'll find out. Count challenge. Challenge day 1, 200 to 556. Well, I wish you some good luck. I would, do you have to do it every single day? Because that's a challenge if you have to like trade every single day. If you don't have to trade every single day, you can really wait for great opportunities. Sold GME, looking to rebuy on the pullback. I mean, that makes sense to me a little bit, but you just got rid of the daily signal. So for GME, you're kind of back on the bull side for the time being. But if this 2 hour crosses down, what do you think is going to happen? Probably bad things, right? SPMO has 6.5% of Meta. There you go. Yes, trade every day. That's crazy. That's got to be difficult. Me, I could probably pull it off, but I would be stressed during, right? I would be analyzing and watching all day, and I just don't like to trade like that. I like to go enjoy my lunch and do things like that. I don't know. Some people are good at day trading, though, Ben. Very few, I would say, but some. If you're confident enough to try a challenge, maybe you're pretty good. You know what I mean? I wish you luck with the challenge. That sounds fun. I think I see it going up just way. Yeah, we're still looking for maybe a retest of the 5. Wait, why do I keep doing this? I have the keys right here. Trying to show people you don't need a lot of money to get started. That's true if you know enough. The problem is, like, the way you really learn the most is by risking some amount of money, in my opinion. Like, even if it's small amounts. So if you're practicing for years with no money, it's a lot different when you actually put money behind it. Your emotions do change. I think it's difficult for people, but if they can learn how to kind of get rid of that and just take good signals, then yeah, I think that's definitely possible. I mean, the way I would look at it is, if I was taking a short on something with this news, and then we get to a daily expected move for the SPY and the Qs, I would treat that as almost like a take profit, right? And that's just thinking critically. What is Nvidia? Nvidia is a tech stock. So if the tech stocks are going down to the options 68% level, right, where we are likely to bounce from, and that's right by a gap, that is where, you know, you're heading down towards it. So I don't think it's like a terrible decision by any means. Tesla really vomiting here. And then what was it? IWM. IWM seeing the biggest drop. Well, you would say the biggest drop, but more so just testing the level that it really needs to test right off, right? See that 5 coming into play? Oh, I want to be bullish, but I don't have the signals again. Got everyone bullish, then burned. Well, if you really looked at it, though, what got you bullish, right? Notice I was ready to sell my positions really, really quickly. I was ready for it. Why was I ready for it? This hadn't curled up yet. No curl up. No curl up, so the 5's always an option. Why is Nvidia pointing straight down? Well, the most likely not liking the data from some people, but also you are at a level where profit taking is very likely. You have a mixture of both. Mixture of both. We could still head down lower. The Qs have not gone to a daily. SPY hasn't gone down to a daily. They don't have to, but it is what we'll be watching out for. What was I looking at yesterday? The heck was it? Fixing the money 3%. Let's go, dude. I'm trying to think what move I could make here. It's the breakout. I would say we probably get some buying pressure to come soon. Really? Sorry, I'm having to look at something real quick. Not really the best one. $11.40. 30. Lower. Maybe this is lower. Shoot. Hope this gives me a setup here. All right. Was the white line? The white line is a 200, currently showing on a 15-minute chart, just so you're aware. It's not a 200 on the daily. 200 on the 15-minute. But look which direction we're pointing. I mean, I'm just trying to make a plan for if we get to daily expected moves and what stocks I'm really looking at for those daily expected moves. So I need to go through some over here. We're just not looking at chat for a second here. Just give me a moment. DIA, IWM. Oh. JOLT. Apple. Tesla can go lower. Amazon. Nvidia good. We got room. Come on, there's got to be an opportunity here somewhere. Palantir. Actually, maybe it's Palantir. Oh, it gave that up though. That's really bad for Palantir. You don't like to. Oh wait, 30 minutes. Still okay there. Okay, and you have that divergence there, but this could take some time now, man. Look at a daily chart here for Palantir. Oh. Could have more downside there for Palantir. So nothing there. AVGO. We just added this one. Can end up lower. Maybe I just need to look for the actual market. Damn. All right, so key is heading down to those key levels. And there you go. I'll save myself like 10% there. Not bad. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much for the time being, right? I was ready to reacted to the data, now we're chilling. Overreaction, that's kind of why I'm looking at things that could be potential for opportunity. That's why you trade after the data. Yeah, that's why I sold some positions before the data, right? That good sell yesterday was nice. Now we're chilling. We can manage some risk on the other ones and still be up on the overall trades I took, and that's great. So took some risk out before a data drop, which is always nice. Bad day to get into the calls. Well, it depends on when you're getting into the calls. Were you getting into calls before the data drop or after? Were you getting into calls down here and holding those calls throughout, selling some at these highs, and then watching it dip down, and then ready to react to sell them if you got bad data and that was proven to be bad? Because that's what I did. Oh, got smoked on the top. For one at Hood. I'll go check out Hood. I don't mind looking at Hood. Ooh, okay, so Hood dropping down pretty significantly there, but still a 30-minute positive trend, right? Yeah, I don't mind that look, actually, but the 2-hour not showing the best things here. Yeah, 2-hour not looking the best there for Hood. Someone's got to have a good little play out there, right? Trying to go look at like Mara or SMCI, Netflix. Netflix is one that I've been thinking about for a while now. Really thinking about this one. I know that 2 hours deep, but I think you get a snap reaction at some point. Daily, no divergence, but starting to get down there, right? So I'm really looking for potential for an opportunity there. 30 minutes still confirmed on the divergences. They're just not the most significant. They're pretty flat. That's the problem. Let the candle close. Netflix, some pretty good data. That's what I'm saying. Netflix looks like it might play catch up soon. But look how things are pricing out. Let's see if that got people pretty bearish too. Not horribly. See how expensive this stuff is. If we just did there, it would be $900 level. This one. Oh, can I get this? No, I'm doing it. Nah. No. No rash decisions. We'll just chill on it. There you go. There's some wicks coming in. Wicks coming in. So you still bullish? Yeah, I'm just looking for the opportunity. That's why I'm kind of quiet. I'm like, where could I get things for a little bit cheaper? So we're still paying attention to Amazon. I still like the move down here for Amazon, the filling of the gap, and then we see what happens. But it could have more downside. That's the only risk there. All right, we see nothing from the 5 minutes saying the selling has to stop just yet. You can see a little bounce, maybe to retest something like 225.80, 225, something up in there. But I was just looking at this one. You can even look at, like, you just look, these 5 minutes are super cooked, so you're gonna have to start creating reversal signals most likely for this to take place. So I'm gonna sit and wait and watch and see what happens. If you go look at the actual market though, you're going, wow, that's a reversal signal, right? The Qs, wow, that's a reversal signal. So, right, it's on a 5 minute though, that's the problem. That's the big problem there, is the 5 minute, so. Can we look at DraftKings? Yeah, we can look at DraftKings real quick. See, now you're starting to create those divergences. Does it have a good 2 hour base? If not, I would say the 2 hour, it has a decent base. It could always go make a stronger one. So I'd be paying attention if that 30 minute crosses down and then crosses back up. But if it crosses down, just know this 2 hour is likely to do something like this. If you look at that 30 minute, you're seeing it very, very tight. Very tight, very tight. So this means good. This is great. Daily hasn't confirmed up yet though, so if there's more work to be done, this looks a little bit flaggy to me. If we zoom out on it, right? Just a little bit. So if this 2 hour drops, I think this would actually be an opportunity, right? If we do something like this, I think that's what you're looking for at this time. Really solidify a strong base with a higher low on the 30 minute or a 2 hour divergence. That seems the most likely scenario there. Where's the chart point? Well, it really depends on if we curl up those daily charts, right? Daily charts are still going to be the most important thing, right? If we can confirm these, that would be a better sign. If you confirm on the daily, you are very likely to end up at 611 at some point in January. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh, the SPY really liking life right now. Start looking good on the 4 minute. I would say this. I mean, if I was really trying like really hard to get into a play, I think it's there for this to be some kind of base, but it's just 5 minute. It would be a very short term play. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna look for the real reversal signal. It looks like we're gonna be choppy, right? We actually said at the beginning of this video, like the fact that volatility is showing this signal really says we could see some chop, and really we only need to be scared if this signal leads to the 2 hour actually crossing, confirming, getting back above that 1683. So has the 2 hour confirmed? If that would pop up, that would be nice. There you go. So once that confirms, you could say, okay, more selling will come in. For the most part, very likely to see this be a higher low. Sorry, lower high. But yeah, we're waiting, and you're starting to see that big wick come in. So this is pretty good. Means now we might be paying attention to, hey, can this 15 minute actually cross up? And then you have a little trade set up towards 601.82. Looks like it's about to curl up for Apple. Yeah, Apple not bad, really carving out that higher low. Let's look at Apple on the daily here. No divergence there either. Maybe Apple is the opportunity still. It came down. It's trying to make that higher low. Not a bad thing. Then maybe we're about to see something crazy. I do like trading Apple. I'm pretty confident with it. Go look at the options, see what that's pricing in at. And then I need to look at one other thing over here. Okay. Really? Oh, no, it's this one. We're gonna do this, I think. That can confirm. It looks like it's really wanting to. Geez, like, Apple is suggesting it's about to see positivity for a while. 2 hour crossing up. Oh yeah, 2 hour might not be done, but I think you get a reaction here in some way. Best part about Apple options is you literally only need like a 2.5% move. What do you mean? But we'll see. I don't think I'm going to jump in quite yet. I'm waiting to see if we get some confirmations here. If we start to build back, because we are pointing towards that daily expected move. So I'm not expecting this to be some kind of magical thing that just ends up going up all of a sudden. Tesla, ooh, rejected the crossing up. That's very bad, actually. Still decently controlled. And Amazon's still giving it up. Nvidia still giving it up. Nvidia does have a bigger downside move. 141.12, look for that test. Starting to fill the gap, not bad. AMD, man, you really would expect AMD to pull down a little further than that. And I think as well, Meta, something like 605 makes more sense, or gap fill down towards 604. Alrighty. Let's look how the market's holding up. Remember that 15 minutes still right by the center line. We'll see if that can curl up. We might end up to the upside. What is going on with this? Why is this so funky? Weird. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm kind of getting, I'm getting annoyed with this thing. Annoyed with that. So we're gonna do something a little crazy here, maybe. Oh my goodness, there's so much to pay attention to now. I'm sorry I can't talk to chat too much, but I am a trader at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So I gotta be looking at some other stuff for trades that I got here. We're out of them. You'd really assume we're gonna go for that daily expected move. Fill that gap for the Qs. Gap sitting about 518.60. And let me check on volatility on my other charts. We're just watching the Qs, seeing if they can go to that move. 30 minutes curling up. 2 hours starting to confirm. That could confirm in about 38 minutes. So if we're going to sell off, then we don't want that to confirm. But it might happen right at this, so it might be a little tricky. Watch for it. What happened here? All right, we are at the daily expected move. This is where we could see some pressure. We could go all the way down to the 5. Let's switch this one over to the SPY real quick. Notice that the SPY is not down by its weekly or its daily expected move. So that is something I want to be paying attention to, but volatility is scaling up even more now. So it's a good thing we were paying attention to that signal. 2 hour really starting to rip here. So we got to be aware of downside risk, but just note that does mean higher volatility, meaning we could see some rip around kind of moves. Qs are already at their daily expected move. Did I have... Yeah, we're still at this 222. That's a great test there for our IWM. Great stuff. Not bad. Looking at orders. And then we can pay attention to how the Qs react in this area. And I think that's going to be the most important thing going forward, is just how do we react down here? Do we see a 15-minute able to curl up? What do we see really? And then just know we get more data throughout the week. FOMC tomorrow. All right, let's get back to the chat, guys. Sorry about that. Got to keep my eye. Having volatility on my other screen, that can help me out a lot here. Tomorrow, last one ticked up, might be for a ride. Can you look at Fed? Hold on one second. Rate cut odds just plummeted after the JOLTs job data. Yeah, and then tomorrow they're going to say they're cutting. They're not in a standpoint where they can pause very easily. I don't even think they're in a setup. They definitely can't raise. They might be able to pause, but I think they're already knowing like, hey, we need to cut rates. We need to cut rates. We need to cut rates. So Could retest 250. Buy a call on Apple. I didn't buy a call anywhere really. No, I'm waiting to see the reaction from the daily expected move down here. And then I'll go look. As far as this guy, yeah, we'll look at it real quick. Don't like the 15. 30-minute, looking for the next trend move higher if that crosses up. That's one. Watch out for divergence. 2-hour, very high up, though. So that could be very brief. And then you could see this thing reload. So that 30-minute, unless that thing takes you through the sky, very likely to be some kind of fake out that then pulls down this 2-hour for a minute or moves sideways. Either way, this looks like the better opportunity, right? Right, that's like looking at it here and going, what should I do? Well, maybe take it down here, right? If I'm looking here and it's the same as this, all right, well, last time that wasn't very good, so why don't I wait for a good opportunity? It still could mean this time's different, it just skies through the roof, but is it an obvious opportunity? No, so it's difficult, but 2-hour pullback would be nice. I saw it. Oh, I saw. I don't know why that made me cough. Yeah, so not bad. I'm saying this is very good, right? This is good price action. This is great. You have probably a weekly divergence down here at this point. Yeah, you have a bunch of weekly divergences. So from an investment standpoint, you're pretty happy with it. If you're a trading standpoint, you're probably looking for some kind of, you know, pullback on the 2-hour sideways price action. She doesn't like MSTR. Don't mention it. MSTR will go up if Bitcoin goes up. MSTR will go down if Bitcoin goes down. What do you think of Mara selling puts for the wheel play? Mara, I just, once again, I like to just track Bitcoin for Mara as well. Even though they don't follow each other exactly, I think there's a short seller problem in Mara, but it's made a pretty strong base. It's made a strong base. We're back above that 1873, which is good. And we might just be getting a retest of the 5 right now, right? This isn't even that overbought. So this is a strong move. If this 30-minute wants to reload, I think that's what you're looking for, is the next opportunity for this to curl up into positive territory. And then this zone is more where I always watch out for Mara. SPY. Qs. We're still looking at the Qs around this area. Fed, the crypto asset. In the 360 puts, deep in the money, rising wedge, playing out perfectly for MSTR. I mean, I'll go look at it. Just because I'm not a fan of a company doesn't mean, like, doesn't mean I won't trade it. I think I'll stay away from it because of my reasons, but for this one, we pointed out it made a strong base. The 30-minute gave you some signal in here saying, yep, I'm a go now. This is where that strong base is real strong. Dips down one more time and then big move up. So nothing surprising about that, especially when we looked at Bitcoin, right? We looked at Bitcoin, we saw the base on the 4-hour. That's all good stuff. 2 hours in positive territory. Daily's about to confirm up. So this might be some kind of 30-minute opportunity, right? This keeps dropping off and then curls back up in a positive territory. Well, guess what? Your daily is going to be confirmed then, and maybe this thing squeezes. Maybe Bitcoin squeezes as well. So something we might do is go look at Bitcoin for a moment, right? That's throwing up right now. You're probably like, oh my God, that's awful. It's really not awful until you see this thing crossing down. So if this prolongs for a long time and then you lose this level right here, that's where you have a problem. I was pointing out the fact that the 2-hour might need some kind of pullback anyway, but we're starting to lose that 5, so we're going down a little bit deeper, and we'll see if this can just curl back up. You don't even have 2-hour divergence, right? But we also were pointing out, look at the 4-hour. It's pretty high up there. You could be in a 4-hour pullback and then make some kind of higher low in here. We'll find out eventually. Not a fan is an understatement. Facts. Straight up facts, dude. Netflix about to hit the buy zone with a lot of reversal on the 30-minute, but still heading in the downward direction. Not the most significant of divergences, but they are holding. 2-hour cross up can come. 2-hour divergence on the RSI. So there are some indications that Netflix can go to a new all-time high in January. We'll see if that takes place. We need confirmations. Palantir really throwing up here, like really throwing up below the weekly expected move. So stay careful with Palantir. This is seeing something crazy. All right, you're actually getting that daily to fall down. That's not a good sign. This one has no reversal signals outside of a weekly expected move, right? We don't just see the weekly expected move violated and then take something. Nope, we want to see reversal signals there, guys. That's how you learn. Apple, I do want to check on this guy. Did that 15-minute ever confirm up? Ooh. Nope, not yet. Some more time. Q's starting to dip down lower. That does make sense. It does make sense. Why does it make sense? Well, the SPY needs to go tag its move, right? IWM probably heading a little bit lower too. Maybe we're going to go fill a gap here. An A icon. I hear you, Polar Bear. Nvidia is getting hit with a bat. I think you're facts, but you're coming right into the level where we might see buying pressure now. If you don't get buying pressure there, you start to curl down on big time frame, 2-hour. You could be in 2-hour pullback, anything like that. This is pretty serious selling for Nvidia. That's pretty freaking serious right now. So I would be aware of it, but I wonder what's going on in the options. Yeah, people are starting to get very bearish here. It's just I don't have the confirmations to say like, oh, this is going to continue from this point. This is just what we were looking for. We noticed that Nvidia got the big move, so we were like, hey, that snap down move to 141.12 would make sense. Guess what? We're there now. Now I'm not trading that, right? I'm not trying to take a trade with this. I'm not going to short something even if it's that good of a look afterwards. I'm not going to bum myself out because overall this could have kept squeezing. Right, we're mostly in a short squeeze, you would say. We're still have a higher high up in here from this low. We got to see if we can make that lower low, and that can really ramp us through this. So where we're going to see more squeezing behavior is if we get outside of this week. If we really can reload now and then see that breakthrough, well, then my whole scenario of this might not even take place. Right, I think we might actually do that. That is possible, but we'll see. Right now, VIX up 10%, able to confirm on the 2-hour soon to 27 minutes. So if you don't want to see more selling in the market, then you have 27 minutes to really flush this thing down. You have 27 minutes, I think, to flush that thing down. And where are you? Daily expected move. So it's right in the area where you can start to do that, but you only got like 25 minutes left for that. Future robot cars, it will take a while tonight. And that's the sell the news event, right? How many people yesterday in my chat were saying sell the news, sell the news, sell the news? You know what I mean? Daily for the SPY, we're at it right now. Oh, look at this, by the way. Why are we dropping today? I'm caught in the bull trap. For now, you are dropping because of the data and most likely people reacting to profit taking, the sell the news event with Nvidia. That actually makes a lot of sense. AMC daily divergence trying to confirm. Hey, we like to see that. Yeah, so the reason you're selling off from my standpoint was, hey, you're seeing the 30-minute divergences from the volatility. We pointed that out at the beginning of the stream. Make sure you're showing up at the beginning of the stream. That's usually when I point out what I think is very important. I usually wait till 100 people are in here and then we start to talk about it. So you have reaction to data, reaction to Nvidia outside of a weekly expected move, and boom, you get the sell the news event potentially there. I think drop data, higher prices, stronger economy, less rate cuts. Yeah, it's saying strong economy, what? Strong economy, but weaker jobs? Had network problems. Ah, that sucks, Avalon. That was me a few days ago. That was me even yesterday. You guys remember my damn stream. But yeah, from that data, we were like, all right, we're probably going to see a reaction up from the yields. Yields reacted up. So yields are just not able to confirm this down, and I don't think that the Fed likes this. I think the Fed's going to say some key things to make this drop tomorrow, but that's just an I think, right? I'm not trying to call anything before it, right? I'm not putting money behind it before anything. That's what can cause you some trouble today, right? You saw how quick I was ready to get rid of positions today. I was already ready for it. I was ready to react. Yesterday I took some profit, so if something bad happened today, it wouldn't hurt me. I was able to break even on Amazon, even with the great play up. Look at that, one drop down like that, and boom, I'm back to breaking even on that. That's how quick it was. Oh yeah, no, I'm saying for Nvidia, it was sell the news, and it has the biggest retracement if you think about it. Look at where Nvidia is going, and it's stopping right now. Why? The 5 days there. We've been talking about the 5 day getting reacted to, the 5 day getting reacted to, the 5 day getting reacted to, right? Apple's the only one that looks like, hey, it could head up, but Tesla, that one's bad. But you look at Amazon, where's it reacting to? We're clicking through very quickly, so my computer doesn't like it, apparently. Now, if we start to lose 5 days and things like that, that's where things can be a little bit more of a problem. But look, 5 day. 5 day. AMD's not even there yet. That still might be a prolonged opportunity. 5 day. 5 day. Google might be a late seller, by the way. This looks like it's going to go down to 5 day. GME is starting to actually pull down here as well. That's not a good sign. 5 day for DJT. Sofi is a little different, losing 5 day. Palantir is a little different. The only signal I have here for Palantir is if it goes up dramatically on the 2 hour and then crosses, that would be divergence, but there are no 30-minute signals there. AVGO reacting sideways, just holding the 5 day as of now. No confirmation up for the 2 hour just yet. Cool. Are you man, things are getting interesting, right? This is where it gets fun. Oh yeah, monthly is definitely something to pay attention to. What's the 5 day indicator? It's just a 5 day moving average on shorter time frames. So what you're seeing is the daily 5, which you like to hold a lot during bullish and bearish trends. If you're above it, you can keep reacting off it. If you're below it, hey, you can see pullbacks and things like that. You can see bigger drops, downtrends. So as we're taking back the 5, we take it back very strongly. We get really far away from it. Hey, it makes sense to go down and retest it. If we start to lose it and we keep selling off, we don't see reversal signals. We see volatility really confirming up on the 2 hour with another bar. Probably after that, really saying, yes, we are back in with volatility. That's when we'll be worried. But just remember, 2 hour hasn't crossed, 30 minutes in a positive trend. That's all we got to know for now. If that starts to change, we change. It started to change here, right? So I changed, I'm out. I reacted to the data. Now I'm looking for it to change again. Can it retest and then turn back up? Because right when the big squeeze might happen, they might flush us out, so we'll see. As of right now, we're just reacting to a daily expected move in the first, what, hour and a half of the day? How much time do we have to land back in this zone? Where are we most likely to land today? So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to look for this 15-minute. I'm going to see if it can curl up, and then we're probably going to end up doing this, and we'll see what happens. Don't follow Kathy movement. Google has a lot of traffic support at 196 area, though. Been scalping it all morning. Nice. Hope those are going well. Google, I'm just a little bit worried about this right here. You see the 15-minute? I just think that means the 30-minute really wants to roll. You see it on the 30-minute, so I would think, and all I'm leaning towards is like some kind of test of the 5, right? I'm not saying this is like super bearish or anything like that. If the 2-hour crosses, that's when I'll be more bearish, right? If the Qs, the 2-hour crosses, that's where I'll say, oh, we're heading down to a weekly expected move again. Maybe this is going to make another fake out move. Who knows? Same thing goes for SPY. As long as we're not curled down, I'm not too scared of this type of stuff. I'll just know, hey, manage risk for the time being, wait for bullish setups, right? Wait for the next curl up. And then where are we likely to get? Well, if this 30-minute really curls up, that's what you would say, right? If we start to make this move back, then you're very likely to end up towards these levels, I think. But right now, you're pointing down, so you got to be patient. But look, buying pressure coming in. We'll see if that pressure can come in. We actually almost went, remember when we talked about how you break out of a zone? Break out, come back down to it, then you react to the upside. I just thought we would go like this. That's what I thought. I think that made the most sense to me, but data switched things up. So just because I think something doesn't mean I trade that way. I'm already ready for just in case I'm wrong. And just in case I'm wrong came in, we're going to get that retest now. Hey, maybe we see something good from here on out. We just got to get confirmation of that as we're still in bullish trends, still above the 5, outside of our 68% zone. Boop, like that, and you're curled back up into positive territory. And you're going, hey, where's the opportunity, right? So the new, okay, good. I kind of wanted this. Okay, rule expires on February 14th. Arcade promising gifts. So my last raw on GME has bought some calls for 214.25 at 35 strike. If it doesn't happen by then, I'm done with the meme stocks. Hey, I feel ya, short Fridays. Expires on February 14th. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you so much for the $20, by the way, short Fridays. And it seems like you're just like, hey, so I'm going to buy that day. He better release something before then, or else, hey, I'm done with this. I'm looking at other stocks. Hey, I get that sentiment. MACD curl down during normal hours versus extended hours. Well, my thing with that, Samson, is the volume. Volume that comes in during market hours is going to be better than after hours, pre-market, anything like that. If you're really going to look at extended hours, I mainly only pay attention to this and this, right? And I'll blow those up to 2-hour charts and things like that. I'll blow this up to a 2-hour chart and things like that, right? I'm not trying to go into Apple, look at a 2-hour, put extended hours up, and then tell myself, oh yeah, this is rejection divergence, whatever, 30-minute divergence or whatever. I'm not really doing that. I can pay attention to the same thing, just in a different context, right? This, you would say, maybe divergence is there. Okay, awesome, whatever. But if I look at regular trading hours, what am I looking for then? Well, since this price action led down to here and curled up, well, I'm looking for the 15-minute to just confirm up at some point. Look how close it is to positive territory. And then that's where we can maybe see some ground there. Yeah, I don't look at extended hours often because I've never really used it in my strategies too often. I've looked at futures for like US 100 and the SPX 500. That's the only thing I've really used. If I really need to, things are very sporadic like they were last week for some stocks. We saw the reversal signals in the SPY and the Qs, right? But we weren't seeing them on the individual stocks. So to make that more clear on a 2-hour chart, I opened up the extended hours. But overall, it's just a volume thing with me. I want to see better volume, so I'm going to be paying attention to regular market hours. That's it. But you can, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to do everything exactly like me. If you like to look at it and your plays do well when you look at it, that's perfectly fine with me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hate on you. Come in and tell me your wins. Tell me how you did it. I would love to hear that. 1K in Hollow and MLGO not looking good. Oh, God. I'm scared. Oh, Hollow. Oh, Hollow. Oh, oh, no. That's going to be the lower high for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, remember when I told you a lot of these stocks, the 30-minute crosses down? You want to be careful when that 30-minute crosses down on anything that's squeezing like this guy. like AMC, GME, all those ones, you could use the same context here and just say, if you're going to see a rapid squeeze for days and days, you're probably not going to see the 30-minute curl down. And if that is going to curl down for a moment and it's going to continue, you're going to see it curl back up and then continue. This one never curled back up to continue. Now you're getting cross ups down in negative territory, so that's not a good sign for hollow. MLGO, same thing. Look at the 30-minute, never crossed back down. Once it did, everything got, well, you got a little bounce, but then that failed, right? We never crossed back up, and that's the big deal. That's why you gotta be careful. If you happen to catch these moves, fantastic. This is where you don't get greedy. You see a rapid move to $7 and you bought this thing down here maybe with the cross up and it goes up to 315%. If you're doing an option with that, that is worth plenty of money. I would be taking profit any time I'm up in these areas. I would just kind of like I did with the Qs on this run right now, right? Took profit here, took more profit here, and then I was completely out of the Qs, and then I just had my runners. Once I see the reaction to data, I break even on those runners, and I'm good. Now I'm looking for the next opportunity. So you gotta be like, at least this move here, what I did, you see a move that goes up dramatically. Awesome. Is the goal done there? Did I make enough money? Yes. What about here? Okay, now the goal is definitely there. Yes. I was planning to hold it to here, but no, I made enough money here. So that's what I would say with those. Got to be cautious with those. Wolfie? Wolfie! Come on, Wolfie! See, Wolfie curled down on the 30-minute chart, right? Wolfie curled down on the 30-minute chart. I'm still holding on to this for one more push because last time it made a divergence and this could be a big cup and handle in some way. Look at that. So I'm seeing if this thing can curl up one more time, and if that can break through 809, I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm still holding on to Wolfie, by the way. That's the test. I actually haven't looked into that today. Thank you for reminding me. I have to look into this. Okay, trying to curl down, so kind of unconfirming the short sale theory. Unlucky. See what happens. 2 hours for this, 13 minutes left for the VIX, so we need to see some buying pressure come in for the VIX to drop down. And we're getting buying pressure. Now we just look at this 15-minute. You're getting buying pressure. FET, I think needs a pullback, right? FET was this. It is very simple. I'm not going to do it long. 2 hour pullback. All right, move sideways, get a retest of the 5, and then look for an opportunity, right? I don't want to be buying at one of these peaks. Look how well that turned out last time. But if this can hold up better than last time and then curl back up, that'd be awesome. If this can hold up better and then curl back up, that'd be great. If you get a 30-minute divergence in here, that'd be even better. So that's all you got to pay attention to there. If it just keeps going up, it's still fine because that would just be luck. That'd be luck. Can you see a 30-minute trend move up? Yeah, you can. But that's probably a trap, right? I would not feel comfortable with that. Google moving up. Short Fridays, thanks again for the $2. Let's go look at Google again. You were like in the 196, right? Did we get there? Ooh, 187.63. I'm just a little worried about this. But overall, like, Google's holding up pretty damn well. Kind of in a little range here at this point. You'd probably draw 2 zones up. Right? See which side you break first. Looks like it wants to build up and break that upside, and then you get the wick, so that's unfortunate. I don't mind it though. For some reason, I'm not minding this. I would like Google to back off for a little bit longer though. I still would like Google to do this, then do that. I think that would make a stronger, more solid, like able to maintain move. Oh yeah, we can check on Meta. Meta's the one to be cautious, right? Weekly expected moves, you guys should know this by now, but retest of the 5, can we just curl up? Right, this one even showed 15-minute divergence, but not the best on the RSI there, so this could go for another move. We'll see. But as you have broken down, you want to pay attention for rejection. This could have more work to be done. The 30 minutes pretty high up there, but it got rid of it all in one push. So we'll see if something crazy can take place. I don't mind it. If the 2 hour crossed, I'd be more worried, right? A lot of these charts are, if the 2 hour crossed, I'd be more worried. But you're going up into this area. Look how big of a move this has been. If you can pull back in some way and just end up going up, that would not be a bad thing. What do I need to go over to? I need to go over the Qs. 15. We're right back in the zone. We're right back in the zone. We're right back in the zone. So I'm going to go over here. SPY right back in the zone. VIX starting to drop off. Yeah, the 30-minute confirmed for a while. Look at the 2 hour. Starting to get rid of the signal. See how we're patient? Missed what I said about AMD. AMD just, it looked like a potential opportunity. Like, we were talking about the difference between like Chipotle and AMD just because we were talking about Chipotle, but divergence leads to a bounce. You get a pullback, higher low. Higher low, fantastic. Big move up, that's great. You know what was in this higher low? A 30-minute divergence. So now that we've already made the move, we can only look at this from the learning opportunity, right? This is why we kind of pointed out AMD and we said in our video over the weekend, maybe we shouldn't be sleeping too hard on AMD, right? And there's the 30-minute divergence that leads to upside. It's just, for me, these signals haven't played out very well over the past few trades for AMD. So I was just like, I'm going to take my opportunities elsewhere. Ended up with a good trade with the Qs. So I've just learned to not trust AMD as much, which is sad because that's a great trade. Qs in the SPY, looking for a 15-minute to curl back up right now. That's very simple, but we weren't really paying attention to signals this morning. Right, we were paying attention to data, reacting to the data. That all happened for me, and then it curls down and goes to a daily expected move. We were always looking for the time where it retests the 5. What did we say? Pullbacks are what? Opportunities. You have made a very strong base. This is potentially an opportunity if we get some confirmation here. Which means we might, remember what we said, volatility might go up. It might shrug that off pretty quickly. So we'll check. We'll pay attention to what's actually confirming, but this right here is your 68% line. So if you go below that, 68% chance to bounce from that level. Now we could sit here all day and then drop tomorrow, and that would make a lot of sense. We'll see what happens. IWM, big wick up as of right now. We shall see, we shall see. All right, what's the other thing? So I want to look at Nvidia again. Let's go look at Nvidia, because what's happening here? Yeah, it's a big drop down. I get that, but you are at the level where day traders take profit. You're at the level where weekly traders take profit. You're at the level where you just got news and everyone bought into that news. And then you get some bad data. That is a lot to pile on to a stock that just needs to pull back and retest the 5. The 5 didn't get more time to catch up. So you get a big drop, and that's why we're pointing out 141.12 again and the 5-day moving average. So we're down there. The 30-minute has crossed, and it's down by the center line, and it's very far away from crossing. So most likely this is going to take a while to cross. So it doesn't mean Nvidia has to be like the best opportunity. It still could be a good opportunity if this 15-minute can just take you and then maybe make some higher lows. But overall, when you're scared of Nvidia, this guy, 2 hour. 2 hour crosses down, you should expect lower prices. 2 hour crosses down, we should expect 135 or gap fill, right? That's it. We're thinking very, very plainly here. And if you had weekly expected moves, you know the risk up here. Do you still have potential to do that? Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, you do. You still have squeeze potential. All right, let me go pull up VIX again real quick. Kind of important to see if this confirms. Not confirming yet. We'll see what happens. Bearish on the MACD at this current moment. We have not looked at AMC or GME too much this morning. I do not like this 30-minute signal from AMC. I do not like it. All right, I know these are really weird bars, but you still are able to make some kind of divergence right there. So I don't like that. That means if the 30-minute crosses, we can give up this 5. It means the 2-hour can actually cross down again. All right, remember when we talked about, hey, AMC could head down like this, and it would still be a potential for a good opportunity at that point. But does that mean it's a good opportunity right now? Well, it could be still a good opportunity, but the 30-minute is showing weakness. So if I have a short outdated option, I'm probably going to manage some risk at some point. But very good catch there. That's a hard one to see, Reese. That's a very hard one to see, so good catch. It has not confirmed. GME, once again, GME on the daily scale has turned back up. So as long as that's turned up, we're good. As long as the 2 hours turned up, we're good. As long as the 30 minutes turned up, we're good. Retest of the 5 right here. If the 30-minute crosses, a little bit of weakness, maybe a pullback. If the 2-hour crosses, probably a double top. And if you're double topping for GME, you could really see this thing vomit down to 28.35. You could see it keep going. So you don't want that to happen. I believe the floor, there's a lot of transactions going on here. So I highly doubt at this point now that we've remained up here actually that 28.35 gets broken. But there is a risk of that if this daily does cross. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. You could just see a moment where it goes like this though, right? Still pretty positive. All right, let me get out of this bad boy for a little bit. Let's see here. We need to go back to Qs, make sure things are going at least okay over here. People did go to the put side pretty quickly, but not as much as you would expect. That was a big sell for Nvidia, and you really only got to like 0.92. You would expect more than that. Interesting. Dollar turned up. Interesting. Very cool. Hopefully for a push to get rid of divergence. Yeah, it's not, yeah, and it's very choppy bars for AMC right now. That 10-year going up sure is concerning for bulls. It is. It is very concerning, and that's why it's good. You have FOMC tomorrow, and everyone's saying they're going to raise their pause, and I'm just going to say right now they're probably going to cut. They're going to say that they're looking into cutting or something. Or they'll just say, we've avoided recession completely again, or whatever they want to do. And they can keep cutting, but the 10-year can keep going up. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't really matter what they do. But also, I mean, you look at like high yield growth, right? Look at high yield growth compared. High yield growth has seen a significant bounce here, which is kind of a good thing, actually. Means they're saying this should probably pull down. Let's see if we're making any kind of signal, right? Do we have a 4-hour or anything like that? Oh, look at that. If that 4-hour crosses down, what would that be? Dramatic divergence, right? Very dramatic at this point. So we'll see what happens. Once again, am I going to guess that this is going to cross down? No, I am going to just sit there, have my orders ready if I need to buy or sell something, whatever I'm planning to do, right? Have my plan in place. And then if I have a bunch of exposure to upside and they say, hey, we need to tackle inflation, it's a serious problem. Yeah, you're going to see downside, right? If they're like, yeah, we can't cut rates because that inflation looking pretty dangerous. We've seen the opposite tone from them for the past year. We've seen tick ups in inflation. They go, we're going to pay attention to tick ups in inflation. And then they say, that's not a bad tick up. Then they get another one and they go, it's just not a bad tick up. We're going to still cut rates. So I'm just not a believer that like if we go into recession, inflation's going to get taken care of. That's how I see it. I'm just going to wait to hear what they actually say. But the data today I don't think was good. By 5 minute head and shoulders. Wait, what? Can you confirm? Wait, what the heck? I just lost that comment. Oh, it's Doug. Okay. I guess on the SPY 5 minute inverted head and shoulders. I mean, if you're talking a very micro level one, you would say if this wants to head up, you'd do this. Look at this micro one, right? And that goes with the bullishness, right? So you're still above the 5, so we're still talking bullish, and that's probably how you do it on the 1 minute. Should we see if it plays out? Should we draw some lines? How do I do those combining lines? Can I do it like this? Is this the thing? Ah, how do I stop it? No, I deleted it. I don't know. Oh, this is the cues. Shit. My bad. Well, it's on the cues. All right, 5 minute here for the SPY. My bad. Oh, okay. You want to see this maybe? If you're talking about this, that would make the most sense to me. And then you see it again on the 1 minute here. You'll see more this type of thing. You're actually consolidating before you do that, so you don't have to make that shoulder anymore. We could like see this go up, retest, and then go up again. I don't really see like a blatant one, head and shoulders wise, inverted, I mean. You would say this is probably the most easy one to see, and then this is the one that can actually push you up higher. That's probably what gets you to a weekly expected move at this point, if we're going to remain bullish, guys. We'll see. Check on volatility, 2 hour. It did cross up. We did get a cross up from volatility, so we can see that continue. Now we want to pay attention to this just like a regular trade. If I had volatility, managing the trade might be important. Even right now, that 30 minute isn't very high up. So if that 30 minute crosses back down, I'd be paying attention. So if we're going to see more selling than just like a management of a trade, you're looking for if that volatility goes wrong. And that would be a 30 minute crosses back down. Oh, BB's. I think you're right on that. I mean, that's why we're still paying attention. Remember what we said about this move, even right here from this base. We're like, really, if I was an investor, I'd be like, man, I'm seeing a lot of topping out signals. I don't care about this extra 2 or 3%. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'll just be patient for a couple of years and then find the lows, right? Find good areas where I like the prices. Yeah, this is just playing around with the top of the market, right? This is playing the potential for a little squeeze to get people trapped. It might already be done. We have not confirmed up daily charts, right? We're always aware of the risk. That's a big ass wick though. That's all I'm saying. Insider selling, yeah. I was like, insider trading. I don't think they're trading too much. They're just seriously going into cash and things like that. I'm in all cash looking to get in the market. If I wait, what levels would you look at? So it depends on how long-term of a trader you are. It depends on if you're really an investor or if you're someone that just likes to buy something for a month and then sell it. But if you're an investor, I'd just be looking at weekly charts and looking for this signal in the opposite direction. I'll show you. You want to see the best signal of that led you into 2024, 2025 is right here. You got a triple divergence with a rejection double bottom right there. That is when you invest, right? That's when momentum is telling you there is a high probability that this would be a good investment. That's the proper way to say it, right? That's just that's just learning how to use indicators. Look at the divergence on the weekly. Does that hold on the RSI at the same time? Yes, it does. Okay, awesome. That's an opportunity. Do you see something like this in the opposite direction? Yes. So what is very likely to happen? Well, we could go through a period like this where it could just be choppy and you head down and then you end up buying back up. Okay, awesome. But with how things are right now, you do have the risk of just seeing some bigger volatility come in. right? And we could end up all the way down towards this blue line down here. And then you would say, hey, do I have weekly divergence there? And then that would be the opportunity, right? This investing wise is just dumb. MSTR's strategy of buying Bitcoin over 100K, yeah, it could work for a few more 10% maybe, but it's just not the most intelligent thing to do. That's why I don't really like MSTR. Now, Bitcoin, if you look at it though, does it have more time? It potentially does, but you still have the divergence point, not on the MACD, but the RSI. So that means Bitcoin could keep going. Bitcoin could do this, then do this, then do this. That's what I'd be looking out for Bitcoin. Bitcoin can last a little bit longer from the signals I'm seeing, but I'm not ignoring the fact that we at least have this. That's not a good sign. So just from a risk standpoint, if you're looking at stocks from a risk standpoint like an investor would, you go, wow, this looks risky, right? That's all you would say. You'd say, wow, this looks risky. When do I want to get in? When everyone thinks it's risky. When it is risky is here. Look at the divergence. Oh, wow, do we see something like that right now? Yes. What happened? Bad things. When did people think that it was seriously going to crash down to 100? Right here. When did I buy? Right here. So, and then I just go, okay, awesome. Monthly curled up too. I feel good. Oh, there's some daily divergence. Okay, we pull back. Oh, there's daily divergence. Okay, we go up. Oh, there's daily divergence. Okay, we go down. Then we start to get tighter, 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 tighter. And notice that the curl ups are getting smaller. Look at these. They're getting smaller moves. Okay, so you're most likely approaching some kind of top. Now we have a channel up here we could get to. We have a lot that can happen in the shorter time frames because we don't know how this is going to play out. We can move sideways for 3 months. So we're just watching. I'm just sitting, waiting, wishing you believe in superstition. Exactly. Yeah, nothing's 100%, BB. Like, I like what you're saying there. It's like, remember the oil? Remember when we talked about oil a few weeks ago? Where's oil sitting at, right? If you're an investor, where's oil sitting now? Well, look at this. Remember we were calling out down here that oil could see that rip and get out of the zone, maybe get a retest, then go to the upside and possibly hit about $75, $76 because of the positioning of the 200. Where's oil at? Now, I had to manage this trade, and then I started to take other ones just because I like other stocks better, but it doesn't mean I, like, lost a ton of money. I didn't gain a ton of money, but overall, you're like, okay, we were right. Oil is scaling up dramatically. It is inflating. That's why you most likely need a deflationary event. The rate raising is not working. It's not working. The only way it would actually work, I think, is if you raise those rates dramatically. And you should have done that right when you knew there was an inflation problem. You would have put people through pain, but the pain would have been more brief. Instead, now we're kicking the can. The longer you kick the can, like say you kick the can up a mountaintop, up a mountaintop, up a mountaintop, well, once you stop kicking the can, it's further it has to roll down. When QE isn't working anymore, you know we're in trouble. That's exactly what the 10-year yield is saying. Go look at France right now, BB. Go look at France right now. Go look at those European countries, man. A lot of them, I think it's France and Germany right now, a lot of them are not allowed, they're not being allowed to raise debt ceiling. They're not allowed to go into more debt. They're like, you won't be able to sustain the interest. So they're not even allowed to pump money in any way. Joe, if you're a bull, if you're a bear, it's great. Yeah, if you're an option trader and you're a bear, it's like you just have to wait for those negative things to actually confirm. Central banks for you. Yep, Reese, spot on. Just sitting in 100% cash. I mean, that's patience is the overall game. Patience is the overall game. The ones who are the most patient, the ones who wait for the best setups are the ones who can really benefit. Look at this that we just got for the SPY. 30-minute divergence. If you take that, you can benefit, but maybe you wanted to be patient to make sure I want to catch the really good move. Well, then you see a 30-minute divergence here with a 2-hour divergence behind it, and you go, okay, that's the one that can potentially see a good move. Yeah, this was a good move, but this one has more potential. Okay, I get the good move. Now am I managing risk? Am I taking profit at the correct times? We just hit the zone where serious sellers could come in, right? Sellers come in this area, gap resistance. Okay, sellers came in. Now you go, but is this different? Yes, you have 2-hour divergence saying this is a very strong base. So is this just a shakeout right now? Still what I'm paying attention to. I'm gonna go use the restroom and then I will be right back for another 15 minutes and then I have to hop off, guys. So let me use the restroom real quick and I'll be right back. You can check out links down in the description while I'm gone, all right? I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. We're back. Okay, to put somewhere, I'd be just putting it into a CD or making money fun. I mean, it's like, it's like, what's the 3 months sitting at? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just these little swings up, they're getting smaller and smaller, and that's when something bad can happen. So, smart long-term investments. For a tax-free account, yeah, if you're looking for that, that's always a good option, is more the investment side. We'll see. VU or Qs on a dip, well, they're not incorrect, right? It just depends. You have to look at the time frames they're looking for. Are they talking about a 2-year investment? Are they talking about a 2-month investment? Well, once again, I mean, if you're looking at the micro level, this kind of thing is what I'd be watching for. See if this can go positive. You're holding divergence on the 5-minute this whole time. So this could be the higher low. I think the signal you're looking for to get to 601.82 at some point this week for the SPY is just, do we see the 15-minute curl up? I think you have a high probability to see that because the 30-minute is just still positive. And if you're going to see positivity here, I think it's very unlikely the 30-minute fails, but you get more data tomorrow. You get more data on Friday. You're snowboarding? Damn. Thoughts on DJT catching a run up with the Trump inauguration? I think it's possible for sure. It might be like a sell the news kind of thing though. It's the thing that you like about DJT right now, it's behaving what? Like everything else. Everything looks the same. Pretty much. Like if you look across the board, most things for the ones that we pay attention to, they look very similar, right? They see a run up, they've made strong bases, right? And then you need to get past this and you can see that run. So you're just looking for opportunities when that does dip down to potentially go up. And look at the 15-minute here, it's still positive, but the ultimate signal is the daily. Can the daily make that move? That's going to be the big deal. But you really look at this and you're going, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but you might even move that up, honestly. It's just it's more looks like consolidation to me than like a big drop is coming. Now, if you lose key levels, big drop coming. If the 2 hour crosses down, that's not a good sign. Maybe we watch out for divergence, but if we cut these lows, it's going to be problematic. So we want to see things start to confirm back up, right? But it's overall following the market. So if the market doesn't see any kind of big turbulence, kind of is right now, right? VIX up almost 10%. But just retesting the 5 as of now. So we just got to see what happens by end of day. Nike, wait, was this short Fridays? Weren't you in Nike? Didn't you like Nike? Yeah, there's the risk. That 30-minute did confirm. That's a good thing. Now you might have to see if that 15-minute crosses. That would mean management of risk, just in case you fall through the floor, right? But if it's able to do this, dink, dink. Don't you like it? 2 hour, no divergence there. So this is where patience might be my friend, right? I could see a big move on the 2 hour, drop on the 2 hour, and then end up going in the right direction. I still would like a stronger base here. Wonky base over here, but still a decent one. Big upside. Real wonky right now, like not even close to saying I'm a base. This would have to V-shape. So 30-minute crosses back down, that's problematic. I scalped Nike this morning from 72.40 to 73.01. Hey, that's not bad. Any chance you could have another peek at Meta moving up pretty aggressively? Meta is. See, it's like if we're crashing down, then why is Meta moving up, you know? Yeah, so there's your test of the 5. A little V-shape happening here. 30-minute, we'll watch out for little divergences, but this is where it can go crazy. This is where things can get a little nutty. If we fail again, I'd be watching out for a 2 hour. I would be watching that 2 hour pretty closely. But look at that wick. That's just, if that doesn't say buying pressure to you, then I don't know what does. That is some buying pressure right there. And so this is where a shakeout can happen. We'll see if it's going to be a shakeout. We're going to see things confirm back up. We might start squeezing, but Meta, this is where, hey, if we see this 30-minute confirm and not get the divergence there, we're making our way probably to the monthly expected move at that point. I would say the similar thing for Nvidia. If this can see some pressure, as these were the Meta and Nvidia, Meta had the strongest base, so it had the strongest move. Nvidia mainly made the base on a move up already, so continuation pretty much with the flagging. Awesome. 30-minute divergence in this flagging. That's great. You love to see it. Let me sneeze. But the reason I'm pointing these out are these are the ones that moved outside of weeklies. So if you're going to see pressure and then you see that fail again, that would be bad. But this also means, what if they're shaking people out of these so they can see something crazy, right? Let's see what people are saying about Nvidia. And thank you for the bless yous. Let's go see. Let's go see how people are talking about Nvidia right now. Let's see if it's Nvidia crash, Nvidia crash, Nvidia crash. Let's see what they're saying about Tesla too, but green. Treehouse Brewing Company an hour ago posted green. Very interesting for them to post that when GME's down. Let's just look. Let's see. See here. Trying to read into how people are talking about it. Actually, people seem to be picking it up from what I see. I just like to see how people are talking about things too. People calling out potential for double bottom here on very short time frames. Just sending volume and things like that on shorter time frames. We'll see. We will see. Look at that. I mean, if that's telling us anything, that means our daily expected move is spot on right now. And the Qs had to violate theirs, but the SPY was able to just go to theirs, so It's always likely to happen, right? We always say pay attention to when the Qs hit. If they hit before the SPY or the SPY hits before the Qs, that stock can go a little bit lower. That ETF can go a little bit lower. Now we're just looking, can this thing get some buying pressure back in? And then we're going to pay attention if volatility starts to fail, right? Management of the trade, right? I'm assuming someone took this play, right? I'll assume that because you could, but if this curls down, that would mean this is not going your way anymore. The 2-hour has confirmed up, so it's going your way. But if the 30-minute confirms down, that's not going your way anymore. So who's going to be right? The volatility people or the people buying the Qs right now? That's kind of the thing. Why is LeBlanc trending? What the hell? Oh, she's getting a rework. Dope. Might have to play some League eventually. Oh, gosh. People see them post the green beer every time and they think GME is just going to be insane. Could be. Let's go over to these charts real quick. Did it confirm the 30-minute? Didn't confirm the 30-minute. Didn't confirm the 2-hour, so we're not scared. It's doing what the market's doing. DJT, right? Short Friday's asking about DJT. Coming down to the 5-day again. If it's going to show a base like the market, like Amazon, this looks just like Amazon. If we can get past this high, you're looking at good things. Daily curls up, you're looking at good things. We shall see. Meta, just my goodness, that buying pressure is kind of nutty. Wait, who the heck did it? Who subscribed? Manatom, thank you so much for joining. Palantir, my thoughts are this is risky as hell, but we are below a weekly expected move with, unfortunately, a reversal signal, but it's going to be hard to react to because you don't have a 30-minute one behind it. But it does mean, hey, we're outside of the weekly pretty significantly. If the 2-hour can catch a bounce like this, you're actually looking at the top side weekly expected move. You get above this, it could mean next week we go test these highs, in 2 weeks we test these highs. But this is the only signal I see, and that's going to take some time to produce. We don't see a 30-minute base. We see a really deep MACD at this point, so it's likely we make that base first. I will be paying attention to Palantir this week now. If it makes this, I'll be paying attention. I like Palantir. It's been very bullish for a long time. Insiders have been hating Palantir, by the way. This is mainly kept up by retail at this point, in my opinion. Yeah. But the thing with this is you really have to understand the 30-minute crossed down. It lost the 5. It never crossed back up. If that would have just done this, if this bar right here would have done that, hey, that might have crossed. Then you'd be talking about this. But that didn't happen. So there was no reason for a bullish trade on the shortest time frame. The 2-hour was going positive. That 30-minute drops. Still decent, like decently high up, right? Decently high up, so you don't have to be like scared initially, but once you see the failure in here, you really got to be paying attention. And this is just such a good move that, you know, half profit would not be a bad thing ever on these good moves. You guys heard how I did the Qs. I'll go over it again. Took profit, took profit. Shane with the $5. You got something you want me to look at, Shane? Thank you so much for the $5. So what are the news on JOLTs? JOLTs came in higher than expected, and the PMI came in higher than expected. Shane, there you go. Thank you so much for the $5 through the super chat. You want to look over at AMD again? Yeah, we can peek at that for you. You were nice enough to donate. That's awesome. AMD, very, very simple trades here, actually. So first of all, the 2 hours told you the base. All right, where did the 2 hours say the base was from the lowest point? Right here. This little bundle in here says, hey, I'm the base. The 30-minute, we can see in that area, ooh, rejected the cross down, just went the other direction. So that was able to confirm the 2-hour. Then the 2-hour turns down, right? We see that the 2-hour here turns down. That's bad. You want to be like, oh, that could be really, really bad. Okay, cool. I'm not going to hold on to this because this could get really, really ugly. It holds up for the higher low. Now, why did that happen? Because you've already confirmed divergence on the 2-hour, so it is likely to try to hold this as a bottom. How did we know that this was going to go up like this? Well, we didn't know for sure, but we knew it was highly probable because we're looking for the signals that the 2-hour can reverse around right here, and the 30-minute did pop up its head. Bam, right there. You see bam right there. You see bam right there. It's very significant on your MACD, on your RSI. And so 2-hour is able to cross up. We confirm that that is a, what, higher low at that point. Now, what could we be doing? Well, retesting in here, right? Retesting in here. These are very important levels. We can see that very easily. We see the gap above it, so you go back into it. Now we'll see if we can make the next upside move to get to our zone. This is where, if you're part of Patreon, this is a pretty big gap up, so watch for weekly expected moves. It's a great move. It's just I wasn't looking at this. I'm not trying to trade AMD these days. But very good, Shane. It's a very good one to look at. It's very fun to look at AMD because the signals were actually really good there. I don't think there were signals for shorting it. I don't think there were signals for longing it in that area either. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you understand what I'm saying. As far as my strategies goes, am I going to short every single 30-minute curl down? No. You're just saying that after the fact because we saw a big drop. We could have easily just done this. And gone up. There was no signal that told me like, yeah, buy $1 million worth of shorts here. Right? I'm not a day trader. I'm not doing that. That's not my goal. My goal is, hey, the risk is high here, so if I had Nvidia here, I wouldn't be holding it. We have reasons for that, right? Weekly expected moves and things. You did end up getting some divergence probably at the top on like a 5-minute chart, but am I gonna be a day trader and trade Nvidia for a day? Nah, sometimes, but not right now. This is a bullish trend, so this easily could have just done this. So, was it a great calls opportunity? No. Why? Weekly expected move. If I took a short position here, it would be based on like one reason to take the trade. And yeah, that would have worked out, but if I do that every single time, I'm gonna end up losing money in the market. I'm just being honest. Like that's why I'm not. All right, we pointed out the 15-minute. We pointed out that you could see divergence up there. We pointed out the risk of this area. We pointed out the fact that Nvidia and Meta have the biggest drops that can come because they need to retest that 5, but they could have easily just went sideways, right? But you get some data, you get a news event, you get like 3 things to pile, you get profit taking at the weekly expected move from day traders. All right, we see downside. You got me, Johnny? Yeah, it wasn't that there wasn't a short opportunity. There wasn't a short opportunity for me with how I like to trade stocks. I'm sure day traders jumped on this really, really quick. Positive gamma. That's actually a good thing to say right now. But if you go look at a 5-minute, you knew a weekly move was up here. You see this reject again right here, and you go, oh, that's not going to happen. Bam, where are we likely to go to? 5, which happens to be around 140, 112. We're pointing out the great places to look for things. And now you have a 30-minute that's down by the center line, and you don't have divergence. So what's very likely to happen here as you are seeing positive things across the board, as Nvidia is curled up on the daily in positive territory, you're likely to see some kind of bounce. Now this is a dramatic drop, so it's going to take some extreme buying pressure to beat that high. You don't really want it to beat that high. There's risk up here. Unless it's going to squeeze these shorts out, you don't really need, you more so would probably like to see consolidation in some way before we get there, right? You'd want to see consolidation, and then on Monday you start to break through. That's what I think you want to see from Nvidia if you want to be bullish on it. But does that mean I get bullish after that? Well, I might see some things down here. I might see the 30-minute curl up, and then I might see that go up to here. Then I might see it consolidate. right? There's a lot that can happen. SPY starting to drop off a little bit more, not confirming the 15-minute up yet. Let's go Qs, put this on SPY. But we're seeing this hold this level at the gap fill. Adding to your Amazon, yeah, I'm thinking about adding soon. Because see, we're just, like, everything looks very similar. We're filling a gap, testing the 5. We just made a strong base. So I'm not convinced this has to be all hell breaks loose, if you will. Still waiting for a signal that tells me that all hell isn't going to break loose. Right now we have one of those signals. We pointed this out right away in the morning, right? Did that live. Right away in the morning. If you showed up and you were here right around 8:30, 8:35, we said, watch out for this signal. This is the signal that can actually cause volatility. Now we're going to see if that fades. Not fading right now. We're just looking at things very logically. We're above a 5-day. I'm sure someone has a VWAP anchor from down here and we're slightly below it or something like that. No, VIX looks extreme. No, you're not. VIX looks very, very bullish. Very bullish for a 2-hour trend move. Remember where that 2-hour is, though, for volatility. Right? For volatility, the 2-hour is negative. So we're watching out for what? A lower high. If that goes positive and just keeps going, you're going to see that in the market. We're going to start to see the SPY curl down on a 2-hour. That means weekly expected downside. We're going to see the Qs curl down on the 2-hour. That means weekly expected move downside. Volatility, though, is going to trigger before. Awesome. Now I got to see, just like managing a trade, right? The 2-hour curled up. Okay, so if I was managing this trade and I was in volatility, I don't look at whatever, 3x leveraged ETF I'm using to trade this. I'm just going, okay, 2-hour crossed up. If I want to see that thing go through the roof, the 30-minute, I need to make sure to manage risk if that 30-minute crosses back down. And that's it. Because if just think of it this way, if the 30 minutes crossing down near negative territory, how likely is the 2-hour to continue to go up? Well, potentially 0% likely, because your indicator is not with each other at the same time. Right? You'll see a 2-hour curled up, then see a 30-minute curled up while the 2-hour is curled up. That's when you'll see things trending in the same direction for a little bit of time. But you're not crazy for thinking it's bullish. It's just, if you think it's bullish, hey, it's your money. You do what you want with it. Just, this is how I would manage a trade, right? This is how you manage trades. We teach this in the course very thoroughly. Managing trades is an important thing. I had to manage a trade today. I was ready to manage a trade with the data. I took some profit yesterday to be in a good spot for today, and then I broke even on a trade today. I made money yesterday, I made money on Friday, and then I get to sit here and go, okay, I can manage a trade. Okay, I'm managing the trade. Now let me look for some potential things I want to get into. Part of me just wants to play the actual indices here, which I don't do very often, but I kind of like them. Got expectations with CPI and FOMC. I think we'll see what the looks are before. Unfortunately for this one, you didn't necessarily have, I would say, signals for taking a play. I think you had to react very quickly. The 15-minute never curled back up. So it would have been this most likely, by the way. If that was good news for the market, we would have done this, and then we probably would have backed off. And then we would have seen this pullback later with other data. So because we're getting this data, you can read into it like, hey, that's bad. If CPI is good, we might see us go like this with the FOMC. Then what if we actually run our heads into unemployment, non-farm payrolls? I'm not the biggest believer that CPI is the most important thing, but it seems people are starting to pay very close attention to this. Very close attention now. It's been going up forever, right? It's going up forever. It's been going up since early December, and now everyone's freaking out about it. It's like, why don't you freak out about it when it's starting to ramp up? But here's what it is. It is what it is. Oh, wait, this is my volatility I need to be on. Consolidating as of now. Let's put this on the Qs, this on the SPY. 30 minutes are getting closer and closer to the center line. All right, insanely high. Real rates are insanely high. It doesn't matter if they cut. They've cut since September. Do you know how long that those rates have been going up? Since September. Want to see it? September. That was when you got your cut. Cut by 100 basis points. Yields up. No, the car market, the housing market, they're in shambles. Look at home builders. Home builders is in shambles because of this. Shambles. So what are you looking for from home builders? Well, you're looking for when can that daily cross up? Do you have 2-hour divergence? Are you trying to make a floor in some way? Yeah, but this looks like it could drop again, maybe to go fill the gap. So we could drop again and then end up seeing a 2-hour reversal signal in some way. But yeah, it's not a good thing. But yes, it does look bullish here. I think Short Fridays is right. It looks bullish, but managing the trade as the Qs are reacting down to a certain area here that we were looking for. And then we're going, hey, this is still a bullish trend, right? 15-minute, no reversal. Okay, so I look at 30-minute now. Yeah, Palantir is going to be rough. Palantir is going to be rough. Look how deep down that 15. Look how deep the 30-minute is. You're probably going to have to make a base. That's why I'm saying patience might be key for this one. If it's going to make a base, let it make the base and then make a decision. I'm not going to YOLO something just because it's out of a expected move unless I see the 2-hour start to confirm up, which we're starting to violate the divergence now, so that's not a good sign for Palantir. Take flight. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, the cars are probably cutting prices right now, in my opinion. Like, they probably have to be. Because I assume now, this is the problem that always happens. Everyone thinks it's a demand issue. We need to clamp down demand. We need to clamp down demand. The actual issue is when supply becomes the issue at the end of the day. When these car lots and things like that are sitting on a bunch of inventory and the rates are too high for people to buy the car, and then you have a lifetime, like to sell one, it takes like 300 days. That's a big problem, and they can start to stack up supply. And then that's where you'll see places like, look at cars, furniture, and housing. Those are the 3 biggest purchases any person will make in their life, any American will make in their life. So if you start to see, hey, people aren't able to afford those things, that's a big deal for the economy. Based on Friday close, yes, Akash. So we take the, where's Friday? We take the Friday close, and then that's where you can look at the options data and do your calculation. Yep, you can just look right here. Usually usually on Sunday morning is when I make my ranges, and I'll just go through and I'll look over here and just put those numbers in, whatever it printed on over here. Because like sometimes they'll be like a few cents off, by the way, which is very weird. At the Money IV. Yeah, I use At the Money IV. One thing that you'll notice is depending on where you get it from, you can do it. I mean, sometimes I have to, if like I'm seeing lagging or something like that, I can just use Yahoo Finance or something like that. Yahoo Finance, not the worst IVs. I think I'm maybe doing a weighted IV across strikes. I haven't looked into that too much. I want to figure out, there is a way that I still need to figure out, and I've been trying to figure out for a bit. That's what you use. Yeah, it can differ from certain brokerages. Senthil, thank you so much for joining us today. Was here sick or recently sick? I was a little sick, but that was just like a day bug, I think, because I got bad sleep. Let's see, I never get sick, and I'm sick last 4 days, sore throat and respiratory. Hey, yeah, drink your vitamin C. Try to get some sunshine, too. It's hard to get sunshine. Have you ever heard of a happy light? Who's heard of a happy light? Yeah, me, I have serious like seasonal issues because I really like my sunshine, and I don't get nearly enough, especially now that it's like a blizzard out there. It's real snowy. I hate going out there all bundled up. Yeah, lots of steaming, lots of vitamin C, and a lot of water. Mineral water too would probably help you out even more, right? Mineral water is really what we should be drinking. Yep, Mark's got it. No, I hate to bundle up. I hate going out in the cold, even if I am bundled up, you know what I mean? I highly dislike the cold. Sorry. Yeah, Unleash Matt. No, I only like to go out in the cold butt naked. That's my thing. Got some Palantir puts. That VIX looks bullish to me. Even on the daily chart, it looks like a small flag forming. I would just still be cautious. I am very hesitant to ever take short plays outside of the bottom side weekly expected move, and that's what you have for Palantir here. So outside of the weekly expected move, you can just see a snapback. It doesn't mean there's a trade setup or anything like that, but you can see a snapback. Right, your 30 minutes cooked. What happened the last time the 30 minute was cooked? Whoop! 30 minute got a little bit here, not even cooked, and whoop! So I'd more be like, okay, if this went up and then rejected off the 5, that would more be, I think, the better timing there, but do what you will. I'm just someone who's very hesitant. I've used weekly ranges a lot, and if I'm outside of a weekly range, I'm not necessarily taking the short. I'm just not. It's kind of chasing to me, but more the position to short was here, and then you see that go down to a weekly expected move, maybe leave some runners, you get a little bit more. But at this point, I'd be taking profit on short positions. So just me being honest with you, that's how I like to treat things. AMC daily, come on, baby. Ah, yeah, that's a what is happening with these bars lately? You pull up the VIX on the daily and tell me if you see a bull flag, or is it just me? Let's go look at it. I'm down to look at that. The thing is, if I'm going to see a bull flag in any way here for the daily, I should be able to see something on the 2 hour. I don't necessarily see anything on the 2 hour. If anything, you can draw this maybe with the recent point. Draw it with the recent point, clone that bad boy, and say, is it more likely that you're doing this? Right? Is it more likely that you're doing this, and this is actually a bear flag in some way? It might be. I just don't see a bull flag, but I like to pay attention to the trend move right now, and the 2 hours saying a trend move higher is there. So I think you're justified. I'm just saying, one, you're picking Palantir, and Palantir's already seen a crazy downward move. A lot of things have. And I think we're more in bullish context now that we've made strong bases. I just think this base is too strong, right? I'm down to be wrong. That's perfectly fine with me, but all we're probably doing here is trying to make some kind of 5-minute base or something like that. People are really reacting to that. All right, guys, I do have to hop off. Oh, crap, it's 10:50. I got to hop off. So thank you guys so much for joining today. I really do appreciate it. Once again, overall, still in bullish trends on the 30 minutes. So we're looking for those tests of the 5. This is the moment where we have to see, hey, can you hold the 5, or is Short Friday's right to call out volatility and say it does look extremely bullish? I think he's justified. We just got to see if we lose that 5. We lose the 5, that usually means what? 2 hours probably going to cross down here. And that's where you can see something crazy, maybe down to the bottom of our channel. That would be super interesting. Super interesting. So we'll pay attention to that. That would be crazy if you make a triple divergence here real quick. Oh my goodness, that actually would be kind of crazy. Boom, boom. Big, medium, small. Holy crap. Yeah, I might look into that as this progresses, but first we got to see if this 30 minutes not going to just rip back up. So thank you guys very much for joining today. Actually, just trading VIX work. You can check like smaller trades in UVIX, SVIX, things like that. We can look into that a little bit tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for joining. I really do have to hop off. I'm sorry to go really quickly here, but thank you for joining. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you to all the new subs coming in, and thank you guys for the donations today. You guys were very generous, and I do appreciate you guys giving back to the community. So thank you. I wish you nothing but luck with your trades. Make sure to be managing risk. No reason for bullish trades just yet unless you're seeing confirmations on other charts. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later on YouTube and tomorrow live. Peace out, homies.